So thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to be here, and I agree with the opening remarks that the program looks really exciting, and we're going to have a great time together. So thank you for humoring me. It's sitting close together. I'm not a big lecturer. I like to have folks interact and provide feedback, and I think one of the nice things about having a small group together is that as I'm talking through some of our research and findings, it would be great to actually get your feedback in as it's happening. So that's what I'm hoping for. So as mentioned, my research group, we call ourselves the Seed Lab, where this is my group of students here, so a little shout out to them because, as you know, their hands are the ones that are touching most of the data, so we're there on campus. So my journey with MOOCs began back in 2014. So I'm an educational psychologist by training, and have some close colleagues with a group, the Network for Computational Nanotechnology at Purdue, and they had been offering a series of MOOCs through their platform and then began to offer them through the edX platform. And when they made that change, they asked me, are you having a hard time hearing me? Okay, thanks. And at the time they said, hey, would you help us evaluate, whether or not this transition from our website, our platform, to working with edX is a good thing. And so, doing my job, I started trying to figure out research on how to evaluate MOOCs. And what I discovered pretty quickly was there wasn't a whole lot about how to evaluate MOOCs, but there was a lot more about how not to. And so I thought, well, I need to do some research about this. And so ended up having an NSF proposal to develop a contextualized evaluation framework awarded. And then in 2015, I think Purdue began the more formal partnership with edX. By 2016, I was doing some evaluation assessment with a Boeing and MIT partnership to offer courses through the edX platform. So I was doing some evaluation assessment there. Then in 2017, a relationship with FutureLearn was forming, and so I became a research fellow with the FutureLearn platform, which enabled me to ask all sorts of questions, and they were willing to provide the data to help me answer them. And then in 2019, so this is the most newest update that we're super excited about, and I think it's actually is that Purdue's College of Engineering just announced a partnership with edX to offer MicroMaster's degrees in electrical and computer engineering, and then we'll do it in mechanical and in civil engineering as well. And so these courses are just going to start going. And so I'll be leading up the evaluation and assessment for that initiative as well. Okay, so that's all about me, really fast. But now it's your turn. So this is my first time here, and as I met someone, Kristen, earlier, is his first time too. So maybe we're not the only newbies. Maybe you're by someone who is new. So why don't you just introduce yourself to someone around you and answer what brought you to the Learning with MOOCs conference, maybe a little bit about your journey. And the thing I really want to hear is what motivates you to work in MOOCs? You're all looking at me. No, I mean it, for real. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to give you about maybe 20 seconds more. The problem when you let them go is getting them back. That's right. But this is awesome, isn't it? No, I'd rather this. All right. Okay, well, let's get to know each other a little bit more at a group level. Okay, so the first question I have, I sort of already know. If I can have your attention. I love that. I do. To me, the interactions and the chance to get to know each other really is the most exciting part about being here. Okay, so who do we think came the farthest to be here? What do we think? I know someone's here from Finland. Anyone come far? Oh, behind. Where'd you come from? Singapore. You came from Singapore. Oh, New Zealand. Okay, I think, yeah? Uruguay. Oh, wow. And South Korea. That is really far. Thank you for making the sacrifice away from your work to be here with us. That is really exciting. Okay, so I think Russ came probably the least far. Russ, how long was your commute?
3 blocks.
3 blocks, okay.
I live right here in downtown.
In downtown, oh, that's awesome. Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, then my next question, so the one I want to most know, so maybe if we can have a few people that are willing to share out, what motivates you to work with MOOCs? So why did you get on a plane from so far away to come and be with us? Yeah, Chris.
Okay, I come from the University of Iceland, and we are a very small department of electrical engineering, about 5 to 10 graduate students at any given time. And to be able to increase the variety of courses for the students, we use MOOCs in blending with our own teaching to kind of increase the variety of courses that we can offer to them. So that's my main interest.
Okay, and to enable you to increase variety of offerings, awesome, yeah.
I'm from MIT Lincoln Laboratory, and we're working mostly with professional engineers and researchers, and they simply don't have the time in terms of being able to get the material. It's a just-in-time sort of thing. You can present the information they need just in time for them to do whatever project they need to work on.
Absolutely. It's the opportunity to use them for the professional learner, I think, is very exciting. Yeah. Was there? Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I'm from India. I'm working for Technical Teachers Training Institute. So the number of teachers to be trained is too large, and we are not able to cater to the needs of the teachers. So that's why MOOCs are coming, and it's an upcoming area and likely to grow in near future.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
We
Yeah.
were offered the program to a much larger community. Currently, it is kind of localized. I think we have not explored MOOCs, but we know that it's very important for research. So it is an opportunity for us to offer a wider audience.
Being able to reach a wider audience. Yeah.
I come from Uruguay, and I'm a physician. So MOOCs are an opportunity for Latin America because there are a million.
To connect with others. That's awesome. Yeah.
That's okay.
Oh.
I'm here from Columbia University in New York City, and for me, what's so exciting about this technology is not just the ability to amplify our content to a wider audience, but I think there's also a social justice layer for many of us to make sure that it gets to the populations that can't get it.
That's right.
In any other way. So I work with veterans of the United States military who are coming out and using their benefits to try to get an education, and the opportunity to bring content to people who would have no other way of getting it is, for me, an incredibly exciting valence of the conversation.
Yeah. Thank you so much for saying that, because I think that we've heard it so much that maybe it's become almost implicit because of how MOOCs were started in the beginning. That was a big a big part of it. But in the early days, when I first started doing the evaluation of the courses that NanoHub was offering, the courses they offered were these highly technical content. I mean, I was kind of thinking, like, how many people on the globe even care about organic electronic devices, or these things? And then when I would go and I would actually read all of those end-of-course surveys, and to read someone actually say, in my country, this content is not available, and it was an honor to learn from you. I think that was, in me, it brought up this feeling of, like, we have an opportunity to bring education to folks who otherwise wouldn't have it. And there's a lot of meaning and value I get out of that. And so, so I think that we sort of have a kindred spirit, all of us here together, is that we see that MOOCs are not just about, providing the education content, but that we're also hoping to reach more learners than what we would be able to reach otherwise. So I am an evaluator, though, right? And so it's not all just fuzzy feelings and things. If I actually care about it, then I want it to be the best quality it can be, And my husband kind of was teasing me when I was looking at my slides last night, and he said, "Well, isn't it true that the best things in life are free? So why do you got to give them a hard time?" But as you know, they're not all free now, and we're definitely moving into a more monetized model. So there are a lot of claims that are made about MOOCs, and there's a lot less evidence. I don't know if it's like this just at my campus, but I'm sure it's at your campus. Not everybody loves MOOCs, right? They tend to be sometimes a little controversial. And then there's folks that are just totally bought in, completely and just love them. And then there's folks that seem to think that, they're going to do away with all of our tenure track jobs or something, And the thing I really think about is, like, well, what evidence is there, and what is the good, and how can we foster the good? So, but when we think about the claims being made, I went to the websites, and you can see, like, here's Coursera. They're saying build skills with courses, certificates, degrees online with the world's best universities and companies. They list some prestigious universities. Says they're going to offer the world's best learning experience. I went to FutureLearn, and I see here that you have the opportunity to unlock new opportunities and get access to high-quality learning wherever you are. Their purpose is to transform access. And go to edX, and we're going to accelerate your future, learn anytime, anywhere. Again, very prestigious universities affiliated with it. And I love this story here. It says they're going to fulfill the demand for people to learn on their own terms. edX is reimagining the possibilities of education, providing the highest quality, stackable learning experiences. And then in the mission, it says they're going to increase access to high-quality education for everyone, everywhere. So when I have my evaluator hat on, I'm seeing a lot of value-laden terms, and I wonder, what makes learning high quality? And I think, even prestigious universities still base faculty hiring decisions on a person's research, not their teaching practices. So we have a graduate certificate in teaching engineering at Purdue, and so it's an opportunity for students and the disciplines to take 4 courses and actually learn teaching practices. And when I'm going through and sharing with them research that is not, it's not like breaking news, like this is research that's been around, they offer a lot of frustration and disappointment that was not their educational experience. And trust me, these students they're not just coming from, this is not a slam on Purdue, right? Like, there are excellent courses, very high quality courses at any of the prestigious institutions, and I guarantee there are some shoddy ones too, right? So few faculty receive training in research-informed teaching practices. So I don't think that quality can just be because of the institutions we're affiliating with. So just like an institution can have variability on campus from high quality to low quality, I think on every MOOC platform, there can be variability in terms of quality. And the platforms do make instructional design recommendations. I mean, they do. I mean, they give you a best practice to the faculty members, and the instructional designer interacts with that faculty member to try to encourage them to do what they've observed is, going to be more successful. But ultimately, it is the faculty choice. So the faculty can buck the recommendations if they want, and I have seen it done. So for a lot of reasons, particularly because of the large number of learners and the heterogeneity of them, MOOCs have presented major challenges to educational evaluation and research. So the question I was asking was, well, how do I evaluate these? If this is my job, if I'm supposed to help evaluate these courses, what kind of information should I get? And so as I mentioned, I went to the literature and was finding a lot of talk about traditional metrics being inappropriate. If you're like me, you're kind of sick of hearing anything about the completion rate and any just discussion about it at all. There's a lot of reporting about enrollment and engagement. There's talk that, really we should be just looking at access and thinking of it more like a museum. If we're using these for micro-credentials, if we're using these for micro-masters or anything that's formal, we have to be able to have what our, criteria are for evaluating them and what the quality indicators are. But there are very few empirical articles discussing quality indicators. And a lot of this is, again, due to the fact that learners are extremely diverse. So this takes me back to the call from UNESCO that says access is not enough. We need a new focus on the quality of education and the relevance of learning and on what children, youth, and adults are actually learning. So when I think about it, it's not just enough that I feel good about this access getting, this content getting into the hands of people who otherwise wouldn't have it, but I want to know that they're actually able to do something with this information, that it's not just enough for me to feel good about it. So now it's time to talk again. What makes a MOOC good, and how would you know? And I do mean it, but I'm going to hold you to maybe like 2 minutes right now. Yeah, to the person beside you. Yeah, so for the rest of the time at various points, because someone said that after 6 minutes, people stop listening to you. So. Okay, do we have any groups? Are there any groups that'd be willing to share? Maybe what would you look for? How do you know a MOOC is good? Can we share out how would you know a MOOC is good? I don't know, I kind of want to hear what Anat has to say. They say you shouldn't just directly call on a student, but how do you know a MOOC is good? Yeah.
We just had a quick discussion, and just as I said, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. We discussed that you have to look at the learner, and we just very quickly identified 3 kinds of learner. One learner is looking to transform their lives and start a new career. So therefore, if that is their intention, can they take some programs, or MOOCs or whatever, and are they actually transforming their lives? Are they getting new jobs and promotions? If they're not, then the MOOC is bad. If they are, then it's good. That's one. Second one is people that want to have fun. I know an MIT professor who is taking Harvard courses in music, and she's having a lot of fun doing it. So if she's not having fun, then the MOOC is bad. If she's having fun, the MOOC is good. So it's just 2 examples of learners that have a particular goal in mind, and if they are accomplishing the goal with MOOCs, then it's good. It's like a novel. How do you know a novel is good? If it grips me and keeps me engaged for the whole flight, it's good. And so I would say look at the learner and see what their intentions are and see if they're accomplishing it.
Yeah. So based off of how the learner's able to meet their learning goal. Exactly. Absolutely. Okay, what other?
I want to look at it from the other perspective. So I'm going to start this because I think it's easier for us to identify each other.
Yeah.
And I'm great. My name is Adina. I work for a private software company, and we move programming. So our goal is to basically expand our brand, sell our software, ultimately, right? One of the things that we look at is we want to create a relationship between the learner and the company. And we do that by creating a relationship between the instructor. And one of my goals in managing the program is I want the person that's educating you. I want you to have a relationship with them. So that you say, you know what was great about this MOOC? I met this really cool person. And we know this works because when we hold our user conference, all the instructors, everybody wants a selfie with their instructor, the person that they've never met. Okay? So that creates relationships with the brand. And one other thing just quickly, the first MOOC I took was from Vanderbilt University. I knew nothing about Vanderbilt University. I didn't even know where it was. I had a great experience with that MOOC and with that instructor with the nutrition MOOC. And now I have a relationship with Vanderbilt University that I never had.
Awesome. No, I like that because he's really talking about it from the learner perspective. You're talking about it from an institutional corporate perspective, like why we invest in MOOCs. And this is exactly what I was thinking about. Yeah. Yes.
From the sense of continuing medical education, that you come from, I don't see any why, what makes a MOOC good. There should be different evaluation from what makes any live or any type of CME activity good. So there's a pyramid of assessment. It's called the Moore pyramid for CME that starts in the basis of participation, satisfaction, knowledge gain, performance, and then impact on patients' health. So we should use the same assessment for MOOCs as we use for any kind of life activity or any kind of